I'm Tashi, and welcome to my home. In this vlog, we're gonna take a look at my WIP pile, and we're gonna decide whether to finish or frog all of my WIPs. Well, as many as we can get done this week. Should be a lot of fun. Let's take a look.
I love yarn. I love yarn. I love yarn. I love yarn.
So if you've been following me for any length of time, as you can tell, I recently redid my studio in a massive yarn purge that I did in order to just kind of reset and refresh going into 2026. Now, along with this whole studio kind of reorganization, I uncovered all of my WIPs. And there weren't as many as I thought there were, because I definitely recorded a finish or frog my WIP video a few months back, and I was able to get through quite a few of them. And I feel like I've done a fairly good job at finishing projects as I work on them instead of putting them in a random basket to rot. But we definitely do still have quite a pile of WIPs tucked into the corner right here of my desk. So I'm gonna pull those out and we're just gonna work through them one at a time and see how many WIPs we can finish this week. So let me pull out the first WIP that we're gonna work on together. All right, here it is. Some of you may recognize this. If you follow me on Instagram, I kind of was posting a series all about whether or not I was going to be able to finish this cardigan for the Eagles game that I went to. It is an Eagles cardigan. The pattern design is by Granny Crochet era, Grandma Crochet, Granny Crochet, Granny era. I'm gonna put it right here because I don't remember the actual name of the gal that designed it, but it's a great pattern. It's super, super fun. She even gives you like a blank diagram with the pattern that you can kind of fill in. So this is the diagram I'm following. I have all of my squares done. There's just a couple of things that I need to fix with it because as I was trying it on, I did not like the step in the sleeves. So the sleeves do have a little step happening right here and it was not the vibe. I was also really scrambling to try to finish this in time for the Eagles Vikings game that I went to for my birthday this last year, and I was not gonna finish it. So I just kind of put it off to the side, gave up on it, set it in this basket, and then promptly forgot about it. But we're gonna finish this bad boy because the Eagles are about to play in the first playoff game of the season. And so what better time to finish an Eagle sweater? I mean, come on. So that's our goal. So it is mostly done. All of the squares are done. The back panel is put together. So here's the back panel looks like. The front panels are attached. I really just need to fix the end of the sleeves and then do the ribbing all the way around, and she done. So it should be hopefully a fairly easy WIP to finish, and that is the first one on the agenda. So I'm gonna go get cozy in my living room, get settled in to watch the game, and we'll see if we can actually get this finished today. Is that optimistic? I feel like it's doable because it's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I think we can do it. I have confidence, but let's go get cozy on the couch and get started. Okay, well, here I am, cozy on my couch with my girls. Hi. Please ignore the pile of boxes in the background. That is all stuff that is going to the shop soon. If you haven't heard, I am opening a yarn shop, and so all of that stuff is gonna be on its way out of here in a minute. So I think the first place that I'm gonna start is I am just gonna start by fixing the sleeves. So I'm gonna take this bottom panel off. So I'd already sewn this sleeve onto the back, but I just wanna make sure to get rid of this like 90-degree step. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna unsew this bottom row because I'm hoping I sewed it as one. Yeah, it's kind of looking like I sewed it just like straight across, which is a good thing. So then I'll just undo that and then re-sew it up so that it just kind of lines up a little bit better. And then I will fix this sleeve panel before I sew it on, where I'll redo this line and just, you know, skip a couple stitches as I'm sewing it on so that the edges line up, and then we'll attach this and then we'll be good to go on the ribbing. So that's the plan for the next couple of hours. I'm just gonna sit here and do that, and I guess I'll check in with you guys hopefully when I finish tonight, but we'll see. All right, well, I got it all sewn together. So now it's just the fun part of putting the ribbing on. So that's gonna be pretty easy, pretty mindless, although it does take a while to do the ribbing around like the main part of the body. So I don't know, we'll see how long it takes. But sewing it all together, fixing the sleeves took about an hour. So we're about halfway through the second quarter of the game. I'll keep you guys posted, probably at the end of the game. And my amazing husband, Jordan, is currently cooking us a glorious steak dinner, and my brother's gonna come over and join us tonight for that. So I'm very excited for that, just to make you jealous. Well, the Eagles just lost, so that sucks. And now I was working on the sweater when they lost a game, so really I probably can't ever wear it because it's gonna be a non-lucky sweater. So what are you laughing at? So I finished both of the sleeves on the sweater, and then the pattern did have an optional like granny stitch round, and so I did do that, and now I'm gonna add the ribbing all the way around. I also did realize that I had a plan to add some football decals onto the sweater, and I do want those, so I need to add those as well. I for sure want one on the back. Yeah, I think I'm only doing one on the back. I think I might end up making that because I also have really cute football buttons that I'm gonna use on the ribbing. It's gonna be really fun. So yes, it's only 7 o'clock, so I'm still gonna be up for probably another hour or two. So I'm gonna keep working on the ribbing, but just thought I would give you an update on how much the Eagles stunk it up tonight. Anyways, probably talk to you at another day this week. Well, hello friends. So it's actually Friday. It's the next weekend. I have been so busy this week that the only thing I was able to get done was the Eagles cardigan, and it is so fun. It does need to be blocked, so I do need to get that done, but I think it turned out so cute. One thing I am regretting a little bit is like how high up I placed the top button. Kind of wish I would have like scooted them both down, like one here and one here, but c'est la vie. I probably was never gonna button it anyways, but I do think the buttons are super, super cute, especially since I added the football decal on the back, which I love. I'm so glad I did that. We'll probably do like a fashion show kind of full reveal at the end once we finish as many WIPs as we can. I'm kind of thinking we'll just go through the weekend because I actually have a 3-day weekend because I don't have school on Monday, which is super exciting. So I thought I would show you my next WIP, which is sitting right here. So I have been super into making these hexagon granny square cardigans. I did design my own pattern. I'm not releasing it because Passionate Kelsey came out with the exact same pattern I was designing with the exact same yarn because apparently we share a brain. I don't even know. But ours are very similar. Kind of the only difference, I think, I haven't bought her pattern, but I think the only difference from looking at the pictures is the way that I join my sleeves, because I actually like extend the sleeve rows not in the round, and then I do this nice like seam all the way down the sleeve. But anyways, I digress. So all I have to do to finish this sweater, which I am planning to make for myself, but we'll see if I actually keep it, because most of the time when I make stuff for myself, I end up selling it. So I am making this for myself. So that's the back, here's the front. And as you can see, I just need to do the cuffs on the sleeves and then a couple rows around the center. And I hadn't finished this one yet because I needed to go get some yarn to match. And I know that sounds cuckoo bananas with all of the yarn that I have, but it's just like a very interesting color of yarn that I use to make this sweater. And so I was having a hard time finding a complementary color for the ribbing. So I was able to find something at Michael's this week. I ended up getting this big twist yarn in the color light rose. So I think that it'll go really nicely. It kind of pairs well with all of the different pinks and purples that are in it. So this should be pretty easy to finish. I honestly think I'll get it done tonight. I know that's what I said about the sports cardigan, and then I didn't get it done and it took me like a week, but I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to finish this one tonight because I'm not doing ribbing all the way around the outside, just on the sleeves. So it comes together a lot more quickly. So that is the plan for this evening. I am gonna go put on some comfy clothes and sit on my couch and find a good movie to watch and crochet the night away. So I'm gonna go do that, and I'll catch up with you guys later. Well, friends, I have just finished my second WIP while on a Zoom call with my family. So my sweater that I made for myself is complete. I do just need to steam it. And of course my eagle sweater is still hanging up over there, also waiting to be steamed and blocked. So I will do that at some point. I really don't know. Now we need to pick out another WIP, and I'm honestly not all sure what other WIPs I have left, so we should probably go take a walk over there and go find out. Let's go see what I have on the other side of my desk here. Come with me through my office. Okay, so this is where I keep my WIP pile, and now that I'm looking at it from this side, I know exactly which one I want to work on. I want to work on finishing this guy next. So what I've been doing here is I have this Red Heart Granny Square all-in-one yarn. And so I've been working on making these Starburst granny squares with it. This is my own granny square pattern that I designed with this yarn for my tumbler sweaters. And I have actually been working on a pattern for a vest with these. I've made a couple of them before and they've both sold out like immediately after I made them. And I do have a show coming up next weekend. So I kind of want to get this one done for the show, hopefully. And it comes together pretty quickly, honestly, once I have all the squares made. So really I'm just working on finishing the squares. This is how many I currently have done. 1, 2, 9, 10. So I have 10 squares currently done and I need 15. So I need to finish making all the squares in the skein, and then I have all of the other colors picked out for the sweater from my stash and in the basket. So I think this is gonna be our next WIP. So I guess I am probably just gonna go get cozy on my couch and work on this the rest of the night. guys saw, I finished the vest and it looks super, super cute. This is a smaller size than I've been making, so I think it might fit me. I still need to block it though. Shocker, I know. I'm gonna add that to my pile with the other ones that also still need to be blocked. But today is actually going to be the last day of filming for this vlog. So my thought is we're gonna go through my WIPs and we're gonna see if we have some small ones that we can finish really quickly together, because I think there's a couple in there that are gonna be really fast. And then maybe we can do some frogging because we haven't actually frogged anything yet in this video. So let's go check out my WIP pile and see what we can find. Okay, welcome back to the WIP corner. Let's take a look, shall we? Oh yes. Okay, here. All right, well, this one for sure we can finish super fast because I'm going to frog this. I turned it into like a little, it was gonna be a Christmas ornament, like a little Christmas tree ornament, but I am actually collecting granny squares for a granny square community project at my shop, and this would make a perfect granny square because it's somewhat within the color range. If you guys are interested in donating granny squares, I am still accepting them. You can send them to this address. I just ask that they are in my business colors. So we will definitely frog this one really quick. Oh, so this guy has some crusties from the box it was sitting in, but this is really close to being done as well. All I have to do is add a snap to it and then a little decorative button. So I think that we could very easily finish this. Oh, and then I've got to just finish it off because it's got a lot of fuzzies because this yarn is very fuzzy. And so I just take a lighter to it to kind of get rid of all of the fuzzies. So this will be a super fast project. So I think we will finish this one together. And is there anything else? I mean, we have some hats, but that's more of like a summertime thing, so I don't really want to work on those right now. What else? Those are probably the fastest projects that are in this box, but don't worry, there's another box. So let's take a look at this guy. Ugh. See if there's anything in here that we can use. Okay, so I know for sure that in here is a massive frog. I've been waiting to frog it for a really long time. Oh, hey, this is a frog too. We can totally frog this. I was trying to knit a hat on my Addy knitting machine out of this, but it wasn't going well. So I guess I gave up and just have not frogged it yet. So we could definitely do that together tonight too. So we'll add that to the frog pile. Oh, yes. I was making this for my goddaughter before she was born, but I hated how the sleeves were looking, and so I just never ended up finishing it, and now she's too big to wear it. So I'm kind of feeling like this is also going to be a frog. We could take this apart, and then I could also use these squares for the Granny Square Community Project. I think we're going to do that. This is also a frog, but I used 3 different colors, like 3 different skeins of yarn to make this, and so I don't want to frog that right now. I honestly think this was like my frog basket because all of this is froggable. So this is a giant skein of the Karen, what is it called? The Karen Anniversary yarn. It's one of those like massive like 5-pound skeins of yarn. I got it a couple years ago because I was like, ooh, how fun would it be to make a sweater out of this yarn, which I still stand by. I still think it would be very fun. So I made a sweater out of the yarn, and it's one of those like cocoon sweaters, and it just did not turn out. I don't like how it looks. It's got a really weird drape, and it's also probably because I wasn't following a pattern. So I was just winging it, and it's real dumb. So I have been meaning to frog this guy for a really long time so that I can reuse the yarn to make a sweater that I actually know will be good. And I'm thinking a hexagon granny square sweater, honestly, would be so cute out of this yarn. So we do need to frog this as well. But that just feels like a really big task. And it's one I've been putting off for literal years. So is it gonna happen today? I don't know. Let's get through our other frogs first and finish this little WIP. And then we'll see how I'm feeling. And maybe we'll frog that one, but I don't know. I guess I'll just kind of chat with you guys as I take apart this granny square, if I can figure out how the heck I sewed it together in the first place. I hate it when that happens, when you like put something together so well that you don't know how to take it apart. You know what I mean? Where did I even like, I don't even know where I started and ended this thing. This is pretty impressive. How is there no knot anywhere? I am extremely perplexed by how I did this. I must have just been using like the tail of the yarn, but still there should be a knot somewhere. Okay, so now it's, okay, do I just risk it and like try snipping? Probably, because what else am I gonna do with it? Let's be real. Okay, so I'm gonna try to find a yarn that I for sure know is not part of the granny square. This one right here. This is the winner. Here we go. Okay, this is gonna be the moment of truth. Did I just ruin it? I don't know. Let's find out. So we don't have like a ton of time today to finish up stuff because my brother is coming over tonight for a little hangout session. Feel like maybe I just ruined it. We're in deep now, friends. So yeah, my brother's coming over tonight. He's coming over in like an hour. So we really only have an hour to kind of finish some stuff up, which is why I'm not truly optimistic that we're gonna get to finishing that big frog. Yeah, I definitely think I messed this up. Womp. Okay, I'm really starting to question if this is worth it. I don't know what's happening here. Well, at least you know now, if you buy something crocheted from me, it's not coming apart on you anytime soon. This is nuts. I honestly thought this was gonna be a lot easier to take apart. This is a little bit wild. Okay, yeah, part of it apart. Yeah, I definitely cut some of the granny square. Oops. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, wow. That I kind of forgot how crappy of granny squares these are. This is the Red Heart granny square. It's the retro flower ones. They're not great granny squares, if I'm being completely honest. I definitely cut through some of this yarn. Okay, I think I can fix this one. Let me see. Tie a little knot. No one has to know. Fine, everything's fine. Yeah, this is the part that I kind of messed up. You know, I think maybe if we just go like this and we tie it, it'll be fine. It'll totally be fine. I'm gonna weave in this end real quick. Voila, dorky granny square complete. We can now add this to the granny square pile for the shop, and frog number 1 is done. Okay, now, do we want a frog or do we want to finish? Maybe we work on finishing this because I feel like playing with fire. So I'm gonna go get my lighter and whip out my sewing tools and such, and we will sew the finishing touches on this bad boy. I'm done. So something is definitely wrong with my machine because this is the cake that it made. And I had to cut the yarn, and the other cake just, it was not good. It fell apart, it got tangled in the machine. So I think the reason that I stopped knitting was because this skein of yarn was so tangled. And I honestly don't even know, like I have no more patience for this tonight because the other two projects were also so hard. But I did finish the bag and she's looking really cute. Got the snap put in. The string that I was using to attach the snap kept snapping itself. So I had to double strand it, which was really hard to get through the needle. And then I sewed the first snap on the wrong way. So that was frustrating. And then I did get the whole sweater taken apart. So here are all of my little granny squares. And it was a lot harder to take apart than I thought it was going to be. So also very tedious and annoying. And so that is why I am completely out of patience for whatever the heck is going on here. So this is going back into the WIP pile because I'm done with it. My brother just got here, so I'm going to go hang out with him for the rest of the night. I think I'm probably going to have to catch up with you guys a little bit later this week after I get the garments blocked, and then we'll do a final reveal and try on of everything that we were able to finish from our WIP pile. So I will talk to you guys later. Well, hello there. I am, as you can see, not at my house. I am actually at my yarn shop, and I brought all of the finished garments with me. They are blocked and they are ready to be tried on. So this is going to be like our final fashion show of all of the WIPs that we were able to finish together. So we'll start with WIP number 1, which of course was the Eagles cardigan. And I'm a little nervous about how this is gonna fit me. So here we go, moment of truth. Oh my gosh. Wait, what? Oh, stop. This is so cute. Oh my goodness. Okay, this actually fits me so perfectly, and I love where it stops because this is honestly like the full fit that I would probably wear with this cardigan. I am still upset about where I put the buttons, but other than that, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. Look at it. Full reveal. Okay, this is amazing. And I love the sleeves. Like, they're very oversized, but they are so cozy. Yeah. I brought this here because I was like, I brought all these here because I honestly wasn't sure if I was going to keep any of them, but this is coming home with me. This is mine. Yeah, full sending this. This I love. I love this. I love it. That was a successful first WIP. Yay! All right, WIP number 2 is this guy, which I technically also made for myself, but we'll see if I like it as much as I like the Eagles cardigan. Here we go. So this is my own pattern for the cropped hexagon granny square cardigan. And let's see, how do we like it? Okay, well, obviously, based on my reaction, I don't love it as much as I love the other cardigan. And the reason why is I don't like the cream. That's why I don't like it. And also, when I'm making these cardigans, I usually try to line up how the colors kind of change. But I only bought 2 skeins of yarn to make this cardigan, and so I didn't have an option because usually like I'll have more than 2 skeins to kind of choose from, so I can choose ones that have like a kind of similar like color change pattern going on. So obviously this one did not happen, and I'm not sure I'm liking the vibe. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Here's the back. Okay. I do like the fit. I think the sleeves could be just a smidgen longer. Like, I think if I added one more round to the length, I would be happy with where the sleeves are at. So that's maybe a mental note for me to make on my pattern, so I can tweak that a little bit just for future reference. But other than that, I love everything about it. So I do think it's cute, but I don't think I'm gonna keep it. So this one is gonna stay at the shop. And then the last one is this gorgeous piece, and I'm so excited to try this on. So here we go. Oh my gosh. Well, that's adorable. Oh, for cute. I definitely need like long sleeves under it because it looks a little bit silly with my short sleeves, but that is really cute. I would say this is kind of like a size medium fit because I typically am a size large and this feels just a little snug for my flavor, but it's not terrible. Okay, so here's the back. Full turn. Full turn. I do think this is really cute. I do like how this turned out, but my favorite by far is the Eagles cardigan. I am obsessed with that. I think it's so cute. So here we go. Everything we were able to make. What do we think? Which one's your favorite? Oh, I almost forgot about the purse. Hang on. Got purse. Okay, take two. Everything we were able to finish. And then of course, we also were able to frog a few things. What do you guys think? Which finished project is your favorite? Drop it in the comments below. Let me know. And let me know if you guys want to see another one of these vlogs so I can hopefully finish at some point getting through my WIP pile. But this was a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for coming along with me on this journey. I will see you next time for another crafting adventure.